Good morning, guys. So it's time to get started with the next project, and that is going to be building a chicken coop and a chicken run area. Now that the shed is done and everything's relocated, the next thing that we want to do is to start building a chicken coop, and then of course get the area set up and then get some chickens. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll get started. So the chicken coop is something that we had wanted to do for quite a while, because we do use a lot of eggs. So we want to basically get egg layers. For right now, down the road, we'll probably actually do, once we get to the other property, which may be a couple of years, we will be doing meat birds as well, just to try to be more self-sufficient and go to the grocery store less. So for right now though, what we're going to be setting up is a chicken coop and an area for free ranging for egg laying hens. So the area that is going to be basically where the container was. So I shot a video earlier, it was probably a few weeks ago now, that I'll put in here to show you the area of what it looked like before. So I'm going to go ahead and put that video in now, and then we'll come back. All right, so you saw that video, and then this is what it looks like right now, present state. So I've cleared out a lot of the vegetation through this whole area. And I have James coming back this morning. So the idea here, I guess let me walk this way. So you see the string line that I put up. So this of course is going to be open because this will eventually be the driveway going to the garage. And I'm going to leave 12-foot plus clearance between the edge of the shed, and then this string line is basically where the fence will be. So what's going to happen is this fence will go kind of this way and then up here right to by where this rock pile is. And then I plan to have a gate right here, and then there's going to be a fence line that runs here right along the tree line, and then back there behind that cook pine, the fence. So the cook pine will actually be inside the chicken range area. The fence will cut across, and then the coop is basically going to be about where the rock pile is. So James is coming back today. He's going to relocate this rock pile and then smooth this whole area out. So, or basically flatten it out. And then that way it'll give us a nice area to start. And then I plan to get, some dirt delivered in here, and then start growing grass and stuff, and stuff for the chickens to eat, some flowers and like other stuff that's good for chickens. So that's basically what's going to happen. I'm not sure how many episodes this series will end up being. Of course, it's going to be, building the chicken coop, and then getting this area prepped, set up, putting in the fencing and all that. So this could easily turn into, 5 or 6 episodes for this series. But that is the plan right now. So I think it's about 7:30 in the morning. James is supposed to be here around 9. So then we will do a little bit of footage of him working, some time lapse, getting this area prepped. All right, so it looks like James is here. So now we can get started. All right, so James is getting started. Basically what he's gonna do first is he's gonna relocate that pile of trees, which was taken down a long time ago when I first had this area grubbed. So he's gonna take the pile of trees and basically put them over here on this side of the property. Then he's gonna relocate that pile of boulders up to that spot, then start clearing this spot. So should be good. And then I have my time lapse going on the GoPro too, so that'll be good. Some other updates. You know, I got the drain put in here. So that was the one thing I had left from the shed video. So you can see it's not really, it's not blocking the window or anything like that. I know a couple people had asked. Pigeon peas, as you can see, are growing really big now. I mean, those ones down there are as tall, or this one's a little bit taller than the window. Relocated a lot of the garden stuff over here. Planted some kale in here as well. Over here on the lattice, I'm going to be planting some lilikoi. So lilikoi is a vine, which I always thought lilikoi was a tree, but it's not. It's actually a vine. So that will go into a planter, which is the planter that I'm painting white out there. It was brown, so I just want it white so it kind of matches. And then this will eventually grow up and fill this whole lattice, and then we'll have awesome lilikoi flowers and fruits, hopefully. All right, so making some progress, moving those trees over there out of this location and breaking up a bunch of other stuff to clear some more space, which is nice. Eventually more of this is going to get cleared, all these YV, and then further, you know, I want to go a couple 100 feet further back in there too, clearing out all the YV. And then eventually we'll be putting paddocks here so that we can get some goats and sheep and stuff. But for right now, chicken coop will be the next thing, priority. Okay, so just taking a look at some of the progress. All those trees were relocated. All the rocks have been relocated. Of course, there's a PVC tube, so always finding trash every time we dig up. It's pretty crazy. So as you can see, he's kind of smoothed out this hill, cleaned up some of the brush around this cook pine, and right now he's working on leveling out this area here. And just, there were some random kind of piles of gravel and rocks and stuff over here, so he's just leveling the entire area out right now, making pretty quick work of it. So I had a couple different time lapses. I think probably before this video I would have played the first time lapse, and then I have another time lapse that will be going after that, which will cover the majority of this cleanup here. Alright, so James is gone. This is actually a couple days later. So this is basically going to be the whole chicken run. I put my string lines back up. I like to do that, just to help me kind of visualize the layout. Of course, nothing is permanent, it's just string lines. So as you can see here, this is about where the chicken coop will be. Right now this is 5 foot by 8 foot, and then the fence line is basically going to go to the chicken coop on both sides, and then this is where the egg box will be, or where the the nesting box is, and then there will be a door here that we can open up and just grab eggs. That way we don't have to go into the coop or the run to actually access the eggs. They'll be right here. And then down on that side, in between where that stake is and that small palm tree, there will be a gate there. And then the back side of the fence is going to run up the brush line. It will probably go behind this cook pine and then come up the hill a little bit. So then if we go up the hill, this stake will actually end up, the corner post will actually probably end up being more over here. And it's going to cut straight back to there, and then the fence line down. So that'll end up being quite a large area for the chickens to run and forage. And then of course I'm going to try and get some grass and stuff growing in here, and some beneficial beneficial plants, for the chickens to eat. So that is the basic layout. The next steps, I guess, will be starting to build the chicken coop, because that's going to be the very first thing. And then getting posts mounted, holes dug, corner post mounted, and then we will start fencing this area in. Oh, and this part, if you were wondering about, this was actually built up when James leveled this area out. So that was before the string line was up, so he had kind of built up a berm right here. So basically I'm just trimming it back to where my string line was, and then I'll clean all this out. And then ultimately this is going to be paved. So this will be the driveway going to the garage. And then there will also be a drive that's going to go up the hill here. And then eventually, which I don't know how long that's going to be, but there will be a road that's going to go down the middle of my property all the way to the back of the property. And then the right side will continue to get cleared, and then this is where we'll put paddocks. And then the left side we may clear a little bit and kind of plant some fruit trees and stuff in there. But the left side, I would like to ultimately have 3 paddocks that will be 30 feet by 100 feet each. Just wanted to smooth this out a little bit. So the dirt that I removed from over here along the string line, I basically just dumped right here. So yeah, because there was kind of a dip there, so I dumped that dirt there, and then I just, as you saw, ran over it a few times to kind of flatten it out. So eventually, like I said, this is going to be a drive going up here as well. But yeah, that's a ways down the road. So it's an awesome day today, by the way. So the next thing is going to be, I'm going to get some blocks, like some the pier blocks. Probably not the big ones, it'll be the smaller ones. It may just be some standard like 12 by 12 square blocks or something like that. And that's going to be the 4 posts for the chicken coop are going to sit on there. I just drew up some really basic plans for the chicken coop. So this is basically what it's going to end up looking like. I originally drew this to be 4 foot by 8 foot, but after looking at it when I did the string line, 4 foot wide seemed really narrow, so that's why I went to the 5 foot. This will basically be where the fence line is here. So this will be the the roosting boxes. And then there will be a door here that folds down, and then we can access and grab eggs if there's any eggs. Then on the opposite side of that, there will be a man door, and that'll be basically for cleaning out the bedding or getting into the, if I need to get in there for whatever reason. The overall coop is going to be about 7.5 feet tall, 7.5 to 8 feet tall at the tallest spot. And then on the lower side, it'll be about 6.5 feet tall, roughly. So looking at it from the fence line, the chicken door, which is here, will be on this side. So there will be a ramp that comes down there. But that is the basic idea of what I'm going for. And then these are just to represent a couple roosting beams. So that's basically beams that will go across on the inside for the chickens to roost on. Yeah. So that's basically what I'm going for. Pretty simple, just basic, just something to keep the chickens safe, because we do have, problems with mongoose here, and they will tear up chickens if they can get in. All right, I was able to get some material, and basically what this is 4 4x4s, which is going to be the 4 corners of the chicken coop. And then I got some 2x6s. So this is going to be just the very basic skeleton of the coop. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to notch these out so that the 2x6 is recessed in there. So the way it's going to end up being is I want about 1/2 inch or so of the 2x6 sticking out. So it's going to be recessed about 1 inch. And then that is going to give me my base all the way around. This is what the floor, basically the top of the 2x6 is going to be where the floor of the coop is. So I'm going to go ahead and notch these out. I got my saw. It's going to be similar to like what I did to the purlins on the shed. So I'm basically going to do a bunch of cuts, knock it out, and then the 2x4 or 2x6 is going to be sunk in there. All right, so that's all cleaned up. I broke all the chips out, and then I used a belt sander to smooth it out a little. This is a scrap piece of 2x6. So you see how that fits in there nice. I have a nice lip. So I want the lip so that when I put paneling on this, I have a place to set the paneling on and then attach it to the frame. So that's exactly what I was going for. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rotate each of these 90 degrees, and then I'm going to do it again. So that is going to end up being the corners, basically. It'll make more sense once I start putting it together. All right, the pieces are all rotated 90 degrees. I have them lined back up, clamped. Made sure on the end here to make sure everything is lined up. So this is going to be the foot. And then that will be the main support for the whole floor. And then of course going up, these will end up getting chopped once they're in place, and then that way I can figure out my roof angle and everything, so they'll get cut at that time. All right, these are all done. So now what I'm going to do is start cutting the 2x6s that will fit into these slots. And after thinking about it, I think I am going to go ahead and just stick with my original plan, which was 4 foot by 8 foot coop. I guess the general rule of thumb is 2 to 3 square feet per chicken. So 4 foot by 8 foot is going to be 24 square feet. And we plan to have, maybe about 10 chickens, 10 to 12. So that should be good. And it's just going to make it a lot easier as far as building everything, because paneling comes in 4x8 sheets. Everything else, is that size, so it'll make it easier. All right, I have the 2 8-foot pieces cut, and these are actually 2 inches short of 8 feet. So since my cutouts are 1 inch, and it's going to be overlapped, so these pieces, let's say, will come up to this edge, and then the cross piece is actually going to go in here, and it's going to go over. So the cross piece will end up covering the end of this piece, if that makes sense. So that's why these are cut 2 inches short, so that the corner of the 4x4 is exactly 8 feet, or corner to corner. Hi, buddy. Hi, Hottie. Oh, you're getting all tangled up on the drill. Oh my gosh. Go back over there. Okay, I have my side pieces cut now, so I have those on either side. So I'm going to start assembling these by putting the clamps on one side, drilling them, screwing them together, and then doing the other side. Okay, so the main framing structure is complete, and then you see what I was talking about with the lip. So when I get ready to put paneling on here, I'll have a nice spot to set it on, and then that goes all the way around, all 4 corners. So that is it. And I know this looks really tall right now, but these will get cut down because they're 8-foot 4x4s, so that's what I had to start with. So one side will end up getting cut down to maybe just around 6 feet or so from the ground, and then the other side will end up being about 7.5 feet or so. So it'll be a little bit of a slope on it, but not a huge slope. All right, guys, well, I'm going to go ahead and call this a wrap for this video. And then, of course, there's going to be more parts in this series, more episodes. This is just the first episode. We still have a long ways to go. As you can see behind me, like, everything is mapped out. So the square here is going to be where the chicken coop is going to go. And then I will have to start putting in some posts and then start with the fencing. And also I want to try to maybe start getting some grass seed in here to get that to start growing, and some other stuff that might be beneficial for the chickens so that they can forage and it'll attract bugs and worms and all kinds of stuff that they like to eat, hopefully. So that's going to be it. I want to say thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video. Aloha.